welcome to another speed build. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this video, but I feel like the title might be a bit of a hot mess, so please allow me to explain myself a little. Many months ago, a kind subscriber requested that I build a speed build themed around horses, and then a couple months after that, another kind commenter suggested I build a Y2K sorority house. I thought both of these were cute ideas, and they sat in my brain over the months, gradually forming together until the idea became a sorority house where all the sisters have horses and the horses live in their rooms. I was picturing these very girly bedrooms that all had the same layout but with different colors, and that gradually made me start to imagine a colorful dollhouse. So I began collecting custom content and planning my Y2K horse girl sorority dollhouse. And as I'm sure everyone is aware, the Barbie movie has come out recently. I actually haven't seen it yet, but being inundated with Barbie marketing actually helped inspire me for this build. I had been struggling to imagine what a sorority dollhouse should look like. I got the idea to base the exterior on a real Barbie dream house, and since we're going Y2K, I wanted it to be era appropriate. So I used these two adorable dollhouses for inspiration. The older one from 1990 actually reads as more 2000s to me, with the big McMansion vibe. And it also has some classical inspired elements like the columns, which definitely seem fitting for a sorority. So we are gonna build and decorate this house, and if you're new to my channel, I always like to make a little story movie tour of my speed build. So you know I had to make some dolls and toys that live here, and we're gonna get to meet them and see what they're up to at the end. I also put a timestamp to go straight to the movie tour if you wanna skip right to it. So something I'm really excited about is we're building this house as a dollhouse, meaning the whole back of the house will be open, and I'm going to build all the rooms so that everything essential faces outwards towards you, and you don't have to move the camera very much to see everything happening. So to do this, we're using two modded walls by Numenor. We're using the no cutaway wall to ensure that certain walls in the dollhouse will never be minimized and ruin the dollhouse illusion. And we're using Numenor's prison wall because despite the terrifying name, it's an invisible wall that allows light to pass through. This way the back of the dollhouse will look open to us, but the Sims are still inside the house and they won't freeze to death. So it's a fun building challenge to try to only build everything facing towards me and to lay out the house in this way that feels fake, like a toy. The most important thing I'm building the house around is the 4 bedrooms. There's going to be 4 sorority sister dolls, and I'm using this big sculpture as a stand-in for how big I figure the horses are going to be, so I can be sure I leave enough room for there to be a horse stable in each room. So each room is going to basically have the same furniture and layout, but they'll have different colors and different hobby items. I was thinking a lot about doll commercials for Barbies or Bratz or what have you, and how dolls might come with a set of specific objects that are unique to them, but in this very structured way, like each doll you buy comes with her horse best friend and her hobby item. Or let's be real, probably the horses would be separate to make more money. And then I'm obsessed with these transparent colored floor tiles I found on Mod The Sims. I've experimented with them before, but they were so perfect for this build. I feel like transparent pink plastic really scratches that nostalgia itch for me, and I love how it instantly added this fake plastic vibe that's really colorful and cute to the house. In order to imitate the roof of the Barbie dream house reference image, I'm using constrained floor elevation to make a super short wall on this top floor, so I can place a roof that comes up just a bit higher than the roofing on the sides of the house. Starting to add the windows was a struggle at first because I couldn't find any that had the oomph of the big multi-story dream house windows. But right now I'm doing my best to just find a way to combine the columns, windows, and fencing together to make a nice big grand entrance. Then here's the part where I'm sitting here going, oh my god, I built the house on a lot with the sun facing the back and the whole entrance is in shadow, and I don't think there's an easy way to fix it. So I started over and I made sure my lot was facing the sun so that the front of the house would be nice and illuminated and bright. I know some of you can relate to me, these Sims 2 building struggles. I found this amazing add-on set for the La Fenetra windows on Mod The Sims, and they're perfect. They have the exact right big sorority Barbie vibe I want. I'm probably going to keep these in my game permanently because they seem really useful for fancy buildings. And here's where it starts to get more fun and we can get really cutesy and colorful. With Love from Simstown on Tumblr made a really cool set of Maxis wall and floor recolors in these bright, vibrant colors, and I used a ton of them in this build. I especially love these walls with the circles running down the side. They remind me of like shiny plastic grommets or something, like the walls of the dollhouse snapped together, and I thought that was a cool effect. Now we're just messing with the terrain a bit to try to make a nice sloping lawn. I think the, platonic ideal of a sorority house is one with a big, impressive front lawn with hedgerows and flowers, so I wanted to have lots of room for that in front. And I'm adding in Numenor's prison walls. They're a little confusing, of course, because you can't see them, so sometimes I would forget if I had placed them or not. I've never used them before, but I'm excited to think of more ways to use them. I feel like they could really come in handy if you're playing an apocalyptic game or a medieval game or something. You could use them to make it seem like Sims are sleeping rough outside, or a house has a big hole in it or something without having to deal with snow inside and stuff like that. I want to add a little more interest to the house visually, and I also need more windows for light, so I'm making these little bump outs. And every sorority house needs big Greek-esque letters. I'm adding these lovely frilly porch details and flower boxes from the bespoke build set by Honeywell because I want to bring in a bit more of that Victorian decorative sensibility from the 2000s Barbie Dreamhouse reference pic. I like the cute pink fascia board. Is that what it's called? So I'm also adding these random balcony areas on the second floor as a way to add more of them. And my dollhouse when I was a kid was older style and wooden. I never had a plastic Barbie type house, I don't think. So these cute details remind me more of nice older dollhouses I've seen. I was definitely a dollhouse kid. Well, I mean, I guess no surprise there because I'm obsessed with Sims. But weirdly, dollhouses and dolls like coming to life had such a moment for girls in the early aughts. Did anyone read that book, The Dollhouse Murders? Where the girls' dolls come to life and act out like a true crime thing. I read another book where a doll that came to life was a girl's only friend, but then she told another kid about the doll, and then the doll punished her by never coming to life again. It's so creepy. I don't know why I was constantly reading dolls coming to life and acting creepy stories while still also being obsessed with dolls and dollhouses. And of course I can't forget the classic film Life Size starring Tyra Banks and Lindsay Lohan. Now we're picking out some of the walls for the inside. This was really fun. Since the whole back of the build is open and all the rooms are visible at once, it was a cool challenge to pick walls and wall placements that would flow nicely with all the other rooms at a glance. Discovering the stairwell fix by JRW at Mod The Sims was like the best thing that ever happened to me. It's so great to be able to cover the ugly sides of the stairs and put wallpaper over them so they match nicely with anything you build. Any self-respecting dream dollhouse needs an adorable pool, of course, and we loved blobby things, blobjects, in the early 2000s, so the pool should be nice and rounded and blobby, which is always a bit easier said than done when building a pool in Sims 2, unfortunately. I remember when I was a kid, my mom and I got a sheet of plastic tile dollhouse wallpaper and we glued it in my dollhouse kitchen so it would look like it had a tiled wall. So it was fun to add some random patches of different wallpapers, like the kid chose them for the dollhouse and glued them in themselves at random spots. This is a bit tricky, but since I made the floor on the third floor transparent, I now have to make those corresponding ceiling tiles transparent to fully make the effect work and make the floor transparent from all directions. Now, on this side of the house is our little barn for our horses. I had some hand-me-down wooden barn dollhouse thing when I was a kid, and I remember I would put Beanie Babies in it and keep it near my dolls, so to me, I feel like it only makes sense that a dollhouse should have an attached barn. I'm making a cute little barn-style roof for it and using the same constrained floor elevation technique as before to make a super short top floor wall for this top piece of roofing. I want the barn open on both sides, and there needs to be 4 stables, 1 for each girl's horse. And I'm gonna make it super duper match with the house just so the whole lot looks nicer, even though in reality a toy barn probably doesn't usually have this much girly pizzazz. I ended up rebuilding it a bit because I had the horses facing each other, but then I decided it's cuter if they can see out of the open wall of the barn and peek out and stuff. And I'm giving it some more transparent pink plastic too and making sure the cute rock path lines up nicely with the back door. Then I want some little flower patch details, and the super square, weird Maxis flowers worked perfectly for the fake toy vibe. They remind me of the little Lego flower patches back in the day. I legit spent like 45 minutes trying to blend the sand nicely around the pool, and finally I had to make myself stop because I was making everything worse. I think because of the sharp slope on one side, the terrain paint was just getting mad and kept tearing and not looking good. I downloaded these really cute flower lights by Dot at the Sims resource ages ago specifically to put in this dollhouse build, and it's so satisfying to finally use them here. So now we're decorating the bedrooms more. I don't think I've ever used this Max's fish rug before, but when I placed it down, I fell in love because it looked like a sticker. And that got me excited thinking about how kids will put stickers on plastic dollhouses, so I started pulling out all the Maxis items I could think of that looked like stickers or oversized toys. This helped make the build really fun because I started thinking about how dollhouses end up as repositories of all the toys in the house with nowhere to go. Like, you'll just plop little random figurines or action figures or whatever. If they're on the floor, they're gonna end up in the dollhouse. And I love that idea of finding stuff that looked like tchotchkes or stickers and putting them everywhere. And you know all the girlies living here have the freaking iconic and adorable iBooks. Why can't someone recreate this laptop and sell it? I'm begging the universe. I wish more colorful and stylized things like this would come back in a big way. It was such a fun era for design. This pink Maxis wall mural set is so great, and I was really glad to have a build where it fit in perfectly. The teen style stuff furniture was so amazing in this build. I usually don't use it because every time I place it, I'm like, oh, it looks weird. It looks like a toy and not like real furniture. And this time I was like, it's amazing. It looks like a toy and not like real furniture. I added in this statue too. It reminded me of like a figurine your uncle might get you when he goes traveling or something and you don't really know what to do with it, so you put it in your dollhouse as a fancy decoration. Something about the sparse layout of the living room is really satisfying to me. Everything is a little too far apart. The placement looks slightly chaotic, the way that toy furniture shifts around. It's too empty. There's not enough stuff. I'm really happy that it feels a little like liminal like that to me. I put this stone fairy figurine over here and thought it fit really well. And then I had a huge flashback of my childhood bestie's house because she had a huge fairy figurine collection and they were all stored inside a dollhouse. And the dollhouse was like tucked up in the foundation kind of her basement in the shadows. And I was entranced, but also really scared of it because we thought the fairy toys came to life. I guess looking back, it makes sense that I was scared of dolls coming to life when I was constantly reading about it. Wow. I'm really working out a lot of stuff through this video. Did you guys ever have the same like fear or obsession with dolls coming to life? Let me know. And the chairs in the kitchen don't match because who besides a millionaire ever had matching furniture in their dollhouse? I would get like one nice piece of dollhouse furniture a year, so it was all different styles jumbled together. So I tried to incorporate that kind of mismatch element into the build too. Then back here we'll just have a little plastic patio for the backyard with a lounge chair and a barbecue. I think around this point, once the stickers and big toys were in the build, is when I started thinking more about like what the story I imagined would be. Originally, I had imagined the Sorority horse girl dolls as one of those like, do you guys remember this weird discontinued doll brand from 2000 with the horse girl sorority? But after adding all this other stuff in, I was like, well, maybe this kid whose dollhouse it is really looks up to an older cousin or older sister who's in a sorority. And this kid's also a horse girl and owns a Barbie dream house. And this is the way they set up and play with their dollhouse, and how would a kid like interpret what they think a sorority is like? God, I sound so weird when I say all this out loud, but this is the level of analysis I like to go into. I don't know why. I think it just kind of makes building more fun to treat it like a story for me. And I think the idea of playing a household where the theme is everyone is toys and the house is a dollhouse sounds really fun and silly. You could have a household that's like a princess doll, a biker action figure dude, a superhero, a dinosaur living there, whatever. I think that could be really fun and make for some cute gameplay pictures. And now we're just making a little garden area in the front. This windmill is from Mod The Sims, and it's so amazing. It actually spins in live mode, and if you have mansion and garden stuff, I believe, then it lowers your Sims power bills, so that's really cool. All the custom content I use in this video is organized on a Pinterest board that I have linked in the description as well, so you can find anything that you like and download it for your game. And here is the low CC version of the lot I'm uploading to share so you can play in this dollhouse. And now let's add a few more finishing touches of custom content. This little Sims 4 record player is so cute. I don't use a ton of 4:2 stuff because of how it tends to look like toys to me next to Sims 2 Maxis furniture. But for this build, it was perfect, and it was really fun to incorporate some super cute Sims 4 clutter. These lovely flower rug recolors are from the Sims resource, and they help add some more sticker elements to the build. And now for a few finishing touches, we gotta get some posters of some iconic ladies up on the walls. So here we have Brittany in the living room, Aaliyah can go over in this room, and then we got Mandy Moore up here. And these posters were uploaded to the Sims resource in 2006, baby. We are using so much authentic vintage content. It's also killing me inside to call 2006 vintage. Just adding some final wall art from the Sims resource that just screams early 2000s to me. I feel like everyone was going off for twirly flower vector art back then. So I'm just adding a bit more wall art here and there, but generally I wanted this build to feel pretty sparse, because that's just how dollhouses tend to be, I think. Out in the front yard, these big flower things from Sims 4 look perfect, just big strange plastic flower toys to add some surreal ambiance. I love the intense glow from these Maxis wall lights. Have any of you ever seen an invisible recolor of them? That's a dream of mine because they're so fun to add big splashes of color to certain rooms, but they're just like so big they don't always match. Now I'm adding some horse supplies, bridles, and hay to the barn. This was also what made me think of the horses and dolls being separate toy sets and not a brand you bought together that matched, because I couldn't find any colorful recolors of these horse supplies. Understandably. And originally I'd been like, I'll do it myself. And then I decided that was super excessive, and I like the mismatched vibe more in the end anyway. Now it's time to save and tour our completed Y2K Barbie Horse Girl Sorority Dollhouse. Hope you guys enjoyed the speed build. Please subscribe, leave a like, or let me know what you think. Also, let me know in the comments which room you would pick if you were a doll living here. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.
Hi there! We're so excited to have you. Here at Hoobanubi House, we pride ourselves on always giving our best, whether that's studying hard or dressing to impress. And I see you noticing, which is the only reason I'm gonna say anything, but yes, some of the girls have had unfortunate run-ins with toddlers holding scissors, but a true sister never judges. It's a beautiful day to show you around our house and introduce you to the sisters. The UN actually awarded us with the Best Sorority in the World award recently, and we want to show you that we live up to our amazing reputation. Like all the top sororities, we have an adjacent barn for our horses. We treat them just like beloved members of the family. A top sorority always has to keep their horses in tip-top shape. You never know when there will be a surprise rush. Everyone knows when you rush a sorority, the fastest horse wins. Why don't you come around the back and check out the inside of the house? Isn't it cute? We have plenty of space for charity, and parties too. Each sister gets her own room based on her favorite color. Let's meet them. There's Tiffy. She loves to paint and all things art. Her favorite color's purple, and she's super duper smart. Here's Tina. Her favorite color's blue. She loves to punch her punching bag and playing soccer too. Okay, give me a sec. And Crystal. She loves to do ballet. Her favorite color's pink, and she wears it every day. And Cassie. She loves green and playing drums. Her stomach's always hurting, so she sure eats lots of Tums. We're never ever bored because there's lots of awesome stuff to do here at Hoobanubi House. Like watching movies, or pay-per-view boxing. Shh, it's getting good. We always make time to study. Tiffy's studying for lawyer school right now, so Tina's cooking up some brain food for her. We honestly don't really cook here that much. We mostly drink smoothies. Smoothies are convenient. You can drink them by the pool. And it's important for sisters to spend as much time in the water as possible, otherwise your skin might get too dry. Look at these crazy girls. They are having so much fun. Oh my gosh, Cassie's gonna do a cannonball. Ah, don't splash me, I'm scared. And yeah, sometimes our sorority house turns into a storage place for lost things, but all are welcome at Hoobanubi House. Plus the kids' mom keeps putting them back in here whenever we kick them out, so It's fine. We have enough desserts for everyone. No one understands me like you. Gosh, I've never opened up like this to anyone before. Our rooms are big with lots of space for our talents. We're constantly practicing because it's important to us that we stay the best. As Sun Tzu says in The Art of War, he will win whose army is animated by the same spirit throughout all its ranks. Luckily, our horses are always nearby. The special stables in our rooms let them always keep us company. Tina's horse is named Cloudy. He's super cute, and he even tracks her macros for her. Crystal's horse, her name is Jasmine. And sometimes Crystal and Jasmine even dance ballet together. Look out! Tiffy's horse is named Monet, and he's always giving her lots of amazing tips about painting. Cassie's always making tons of noise, but luckily her horse doesn't care. His name is Lima Bean, and he can see the future. So that's Hooba House. It's pretty awesome. If you're interested in joining our sorority, you should let us know your horse's stats and your favorite color so we can really get to know you and see if you're a good fit. Sorry to say though that tonight is a closed party that is just for household members. We need some time to let loose and focus on our philanthropy efforts. Let's go, girls! Isn't it beautiful here? I never want to leave. I never will. Here forever. I love you, girls. Rest in peace, Seabiscuit. It's all about charity. We're never gonna graduate. Let's go, girls. Isn't it beautiful here? I never want to leave. I never will. We can dance here forever. Do you feel the music? I love you, girls. Rest in peace, Seabiscuit. Remember, it's all about charity.